Guess who is coming back with another reading and writing update? This pearl. You know what? I'm going to show you my writing pile. Guys, this is my current writing pile. There's a lot of projects here. These are my short stories. Well, not all of them. Wait. This is my current writing pile. Let me do something for the thumbnail. This is my current writing pile. It has a lot of drafts. It has a lot of short stories and poetry collections. Like I'm doing way too much. Most of this is never going to see the light of day, but I'm always writing. And yeah, I think most of the stuff that I write will never be published. I mean, whatever. But this is like how I exist. I wouldn't exist without doing this. So yeah, this is like the one different strange thing that I don't really know what's going to happen to it. It's a draft of a script, and for some reason I had the hallucinated idea of doing, what do you call them? Storyboards, together with the script. So like you can see that it has like the little squares of the storyboard and then like the written lines of the script. This is in Portuguese actually. So it's probably never going to see the light of day, but it's huge, as you can see. And yeah, I write a lot of different stuff. Like I don't think you will ever see a proper traditionally written novel coming from me, because I've never, not once have I had the instinct or the desire to write one of my stories in that format. I don't know why. I always go for strange things. Like right now, I'm starting the second draft on a novel that I'm writing, and it looks nothing like a traditionally, like a traditional novel looks like. It's all done in entrances, and for the longest time, I couldn't figure out what kind of system would require such an entry, but I figured it out. It's freaky, it's fun, it doesn't make a lot of sense, or I don't think it will make a lot of sense to a lot of people. It makes a lot of sense to me. It's these two. So this was the first draft. I wrote it all on a tiny notebook, like all of it is here. And now, because if you've been following me, you know that I always write a lot more on a second draft. So I bought this bigger one, and yeah, it will be all of this filled. For now, I've written maybe half a dozen pages so far, but this is something that I'm going to do very slowly, as I do literally everything, and it won't look anything like a normal book. I don't think it's ever going to happen for me that I will want to write a story and it will come out like a proper novel. I don't know why. It's just nothing in my head works like that, I guess. Yeah, so that's my writing pile. I'm currently mostly working on a few short stories, and I don't know if I've said this here before. I think I just posted it on my Patreon, because I have a free membership tier on Patreon where I post a lot of updates on writing and reading. And I think I said it there that like last year, I wrote a really short book of poems. It was about 50 pages, and it was all about the social and political situation in Portugal right now, which is crazy. And I didn't know how to finish it, because the ending that I had was when last year was the 50th anniversary of the revolution that freed Portugal from the dictatorship, from Salazar's dictatorship. And by the most evil of coincidences, that year, 50 not members of parliament, we have assembly, 50 politicians were elected to what is our parliament from this alt-right, far-right political party that is, with no doubt, a fascist party. And it was ruled constitutional by the court, which was an absolute mistake. It was one of the most demoralizing things that has happened in a long time, because while we should be celebrating half a century of freedom in a country, 100 fascist politicians were elected into office to work in the assembly. It was brutal. I had no idea how I was going to finish that collection of poems, because it didn't feel like the ending of anything. It felt like the start of something. So I just put it aside and haven't picked it up since. But I've started feeling the itch to pick it back up, to reread what I wrote back then and try to finish it somehow, finish this little booklet of poems and try to get them published. Because, well, the world is going to shit. Next year we have elections again, and this fascist asshole that we have here is going to run for president. So yeah, that's what I've been writing on. And for reading only this, isn't it fitting that I'm talking about fascist politicians and then I'm reading this? And by the way, when I say a fascist politician, I don't mean it as an insult. It's a categorization. We have historians on television saying that he fits the criteria to be categorized, not called, categorized as a fascist. So, not an insult, not exaggerating, not being cutesy on the internet, categorizing him for what he is. I'm reading Babel and really devouring Babel. I'm loving it, to be honest. I'm going to say something here that might be controversial. I have been watching a lot of 24-hour readathons lately and feeling very jealous because for a long time I haven't been able to read for a long period of time. Like I read for half an hour and then I'm done. But with Babel, I have been reading a lot. Last night, I read until I fell asleep. I won't go too much into detail about Babel because I will be doing a review about this book and I have already some comments on my Patreon fee membership tier. But the thing I will say is absolutely freaking brilliant on R.F. Kuang's part for deciding to write footnotes. That's what makes this book. The footnotes are what make this book. It's beautiful to see such racist, imperialistic bullshit coming off of these characters' mouths. And then baby girl, literally baby girl with a lace on her head, writing in the footnotes, correcting them and calling them out for their shit. Masterstroke on her side. Masterstroke. The footnotes make the goddamn book. And that's all I'm going to say for now about Babel. I will be doing a review about this book on my Dark Academia series. I've already reviewed The Secret History and Bunny, and so far it has been number 1 Bunny, number 2 Secret History, but this is jumping to number 1. And you know, I really do understand why the author doesn't consider this a Dark Academia book, but I will discuss my opinion on it for whatever it's worth, probably not much, and why I think it does fit into Dark Academia. And potentially is the best take we've ever had on it. And I know this is not news. I know a lot of people on YouTube have talked about this and praised how well done this book is in achieving the actual goal of criticizing dark academia or criticizing the elitism in academia without actually pandering to it. But yeah, I'm gonna give you my 2 cents on it. And yeah, that's what I've been reading and writing recently. Oh, by the way, I received a rejection from a short story I submitted a few weeks, maybe a month ago. So that's great. I will probably answer the email because I just like to be nice to people. But yeah, this is what I expect from everything I submit, rejection. So one day I will receive an acceptance and we'll be like, what? They're wrong. Surely. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching and I'll see you probably soon. Bye.